We live in a world where everyone talks about personal growth and development. The question is, what is personal growth and development? Is it something you can buy at the store? Is it something you can get from hanging out with other people? Or is it something that you actually have to do when you learn, how am I supposed to personally grow and how am I supposed to personally develop in my business life, in my personal life, in my life with my family, relationships, and other people? Well, that's what we're going to talk about on this podcast.
Welcome to Becoming Wiser with Dr. Robert A. Rohm, author and world-renowned public speaker, as he shares stories involving his experiences and lessons learned in a good-spirited, positive, and fun way. Here's Dr. Robert A. Rohm.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Rohm, and I want to let you know that personal growth and development may be the most important thing you ever do in your life, because life is made up of two things, learning and growing. Years ago, I was reading a book called The Road Less Traveled by Dr. Scott Peck. Dr. Peck is a psychiatrist, and of course, he's passed away now, but his book sold over 5 million copies. In the book, Dr. Peck said, I did everything I could to really find out what life is all about. He said, I personally interviewed 40,000 people. He said, I was a captain in the United States military as a psychiatrist. And he said, my job in the military was to evaluate people to try to help them when they went through traumatic situations. And as a medical doctor, providing science and mental stability and help for soldiers. But he said something that very much interested me in his book. And he said, I kept trying to find a common thread. I kept trying to find something that would help me to see what is going on in the human condition that gives us hope, that gives us direction, that gives us life, that gives us opportunity. So he said it took some time, of course, being a medical doctor, psychiatrist, as well as a counselor to 40,000 people. I mean, that's a lot of people when you stop and think about it. And he said, finally, one day after, he said, I had been searching for it, but he said, rather than me finding it, it seemed like it found me. He said, I was noticing one day that the common thread that all of us wanted to achieve was learning and growing, learning about life, learning about how to do life, how to have relationships, how to travel, how to handle money, how to buy a house, how to read, write, and learn arithmetic as we were growing up in school. So life just has a lot to do with learning and growing. So I have made my life basically center around those topics, learning and growing. And this week, I got some exciting news for you. I'm in Ottawa, Canada, and I love Canada. I have so many Canadian friends. And as most of you know, Canada is on top of the United States. I basically live my life going two places, to Canada, which is on top of the United States, and Mexico, which is on the bottom of the United States. Canada is cold. Oh, my goodness, we're getting 8 inches of snow today. And that's fun for me. You know, I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're lucky to get a little flurry of snow once a year. And when that happens, it shuts down the airport, shuts down schools, and 200 wrecks happen in Atlanta. I call it National Automotive Repair Day because nobody knows how to drive in that slush, and there'll be so many accidents. But anyway, I love being here in Canada and getting to see this. Not so sure I'd want to live in it, but I am excited to get to visit in it. And then just in a few weeks, I'll probably be doing a podcast from Cancun, Mexico, where it's nice and warm, because I've often said I want to teach, preach, and go to the beach. So this week's teaching. But I have a couple of friends here with me, and I have asked them if they would to kind of be my spontaneous guests. We've just finished 2 days of training. We did a training on goal setting by personality style. And then today we did 2 trainings, one called Selling with Style and another one called Showing to Close, which is basically a real estate application teaching realtors how to understand clients and how to work with people in general. But I have 2 friends. I'm going to let them introduce themselves to you and just share from their spontaneous heart what they think about the whole aspect of learning and growing. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And I think you'll enjoy this. So get ready. Here's the first guy.
Oh, my gosh. Don't you just love being put on the spot? Hi, my name is Jean-Jacques Joseph Brun. I go by JJ. I'm also known as JJ, the retired spy. Learning and growing, well, it's been my path in the military, learning and growing in order to operate in hostile environments. And the common denominator in those 20 years was always about how to get along with people. I had no behavioral model of reference, and I always found myself having to fight for everything. I got things done, and got 2 advanced promotions, and had a very, very successful military career. However, I did run over a lot of people along the way. If I had known this information prior to, I could have still gotten the results without having, ran over so many of dead bodies along the way. Now I find myself 25 years in running DHC Training Solution. The DHC stands for Decoding Human Capital. And it's all about sharing with others what I've learned along the path. That when you have a model of reference, you can see people that don't do things to you, they do things to themselves. And you can learn how to celebrate people's differences versus tolerate people's differences around the world. I'm very grateful for having learned this system back in September of 1999, a defining moment in my life, and I've been on this journey ever since. I'm glad for the opportunity for having Dr. Rohm over here. When he arrived, the grass was green. It's like it never happened in 25 years here that in January, the first week of January, we still had grass, and then within, a few days, a little bit of snow. Now we have a snowstorm, and tonight it's actually going to rain and freeze. So providing Dr. Rohm a lot of different character-building moments with our weather, and it's fun to see him. He's just a bundle of life, and he just loves going to Tim Hortons. So that's his favorite place. So it's all about learning, sharing, growing, and belonging. So Personal Insights creates that environment for us to learn, to share with others, to grow, and to feel that we belong into this community where we can impact and make a difference in people's lives.
Awesome. All right. I got one more person I want you to hear from. He's been a participant. He's a realtor from Michigan. I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell a little bit about what he's learned over these past few days.
Thank you, Dr. Rohm. My name is Paul Bigard. I am a real estate broker from the central Michigan area. My wife, Michelle, and I, we traveled there all the way to Ottawa from central Michigan, roughly about a 10-hour drive, and well worth the trip. I was introduced to Dr. Rohm in 2014, where I took the level 1 and 2 certification. Met JJ at that point in time as well, and didn't quite know exactly what I was going to do with the information. I knew it would help me in the real estate field. The one thing that I did not anticipate is the personal benefit that I received in my home life. I have 3 females that I live with, and they're all 3 different personality styles. I love them more today than I ever have because of the DISC model of human behavior, because I can better understand them and I can better communicate with them. Michelle is here with me today. She has learned so much in the last 2 days. She is just as excited as I am about the DISC model of human behavior. We're at the point in our careers right now where we're looking ahead. Our youngest daughter is going to be graduating high school in the next couple of years, and we're wondering, okay, what does God have next for us? So we're not exactly sure what that looks like, but we do know that God has given us people in our life right now that we can trust, that He has put in our path, and that we are forever grateful for. The last 2 days, Michelle and I have talked a lot about how we feel so more comfortable in how we can meet each other's needs, to the point that Michelle stated that she feels like this is a second honeymoon. And as her husband, I want her to feel like that every day. So thank you, Dr. Rohm. Thank you, JJ, for inviting us Thank you for putting this together. I'd like to ask God's blessing on you and continue the great work that you do.
Awesome. Now, I know this is a little bit of a different kind of podcast, but I also know this is real. This is where the rubber meets the road. We're not sitting here trying to write out some script to try to talk you into doing something in order that we can get something from you. We just know that those people who are on our podcast, I mean, we've just been doing this for about a year. We've had over 100,000 downloads of people who are listening to this information because we care about you. We want you to have a good life. We want you to have good relationships. I think last week or recently I said everything in life in 2024 is going to revolve around one of three things. It's going to revolve around your personal relationships. It's going to revolve around your finances, or it's going to revolve around your health. Pretty much those are the big things in life. Take care of ourselves physically, take care of ourselves financially, and take care of ourselves relationally. However, none of it happens automatically. It happens when you put forth a little bit of effort. Now, you've heard both JJ and Paul both talk about the model of human behavior. For those of you that may not be familiar with it, or a quick just refresher, some people are more outgoing, others are more reserved. One type's not right or wrong, one type's not good or bad, they're just different. Outgoing people are kind of in a hurry, and reserved types kind of take their time. We call that your pace. Then the second area, there's only two areas to look or study. The second, some people are more task-oriented, others are more people-oriented. Task-oriented individuals enjoy doing things. Make a list, check it off, be efficient, get the job done. Those who are more people-oriented enjoy relationships, caring and sharing, feelings, making sure that people are loved and cared for. Now, you might ask yourself which you are in each of those two examples. I know I'm more outgoing than reserved. I know I'm more people-oriented than task-oriented. That does not mean that I have an excuse to not work on task. It does not mean that I can't slow down and be more reserved. It means that you can't be aware of something until you're first aware of something. And I would encourage everyone listening today to learn how to be more outgoing at times and to learn how to be more reserved at times, to learn how to get things done, be more task-oriented, to learn how to be kind and loving and gentle, be more people-oriented. This is the beginning of a brand new year. So you can have a starting point. You have a place you begin. Wherever your place is, if you're outgoing and task-oriented, you're more of the dominant type. If you're outgoing and people-oriented, you're more of the inspiring type. If you're reserved and people-oriented, you're more of the supportive type. And if you're reserved and task-oriented, you're more of the cautious type. That's not to label you, that's to understand you and to help give you, listen carefully, a starting point. You can begin to develop your own personal life and personal relationships if you have a starting point. You know, years ago, there was a app or on computer, we had something called MapQuest. I'm not sure if that's still around, but it always asks two questions. Where are you now? Where's your starting point? And where do you want to go? Where's your ending point? You see, you have to have those two things. Where are you and where do you want to get to? Well, this year, I want to start by asking you, where are you right now? Where are you in life? Are you in school? Are you married? Are you single? Are you in business for yourself? Where are you? Just kind of get a good read on that. And that's the starting point. And then here at the beginning of the year, ask yourself the other question, where do I want to go? I would encourage you to study the DISC model of human behavior. I would encourage you, feel free if you'd like to, go to our website, www.personalityinsights.com. Go to my website, www.robertrohm.com. Go to Discovery Report, discoveryreport.com, and take an assessment. In other words, let this become the year that you get involved in personal growth and development. It will be the best year of your life, and it will be the most important thing you ever do because, are you listening? You're investing in yourself. All of us learn how to invest with other people. We learn how to do things that help others. When was the last time you said, it's not selfish, it's important. I need to take care of myself. I mean, we bathe ourselves, we brush our teeth, we feed ourselves, we comb our hair, we learn how to do a lot of things. The most important thing you will ever learn to do is to deal with yourself when it comes to understanding how you're wired. It was mentioned earlier, people don't primarily do things against you, they do things for themselves. This year, learn how to do something for yourself that counts, how to become a good person, how to care about others, how to reach out and be kind, how to have a gracious attitude. When someone messes up, don't attack them. Just realize, hey, I mess up too. We're all in this together. So I hope these thoughts we've shared with you today have been helpful. This podcast is designed for one reason and one reason only. It's to help you become wiser. That's why it's called Becoming Wiser Podcast. You heard from people today who shared how this information has helped them in their own personal life, professionally, and relationally, and has caused their life to be better. This can be your year. If you knew this might be the last year of your whole life, if I knew that, would I put forth some effort to learn and grow to become all I could be? I trust that will be the case for you. Thank you for listening. I look forward to our next time together. I'm Dr. Robert Rohm. Have a great week. God bless you. Bye-bye.
For more information about this podcast, please visit www.becomingwiserpodcast.com.